Good evening. Good evening. How's everybody tonight? What's happening? Just here, so I need to figure out for a minute what friggin' paints I'm gonna need. Hello. We're doing Ballistus Dreadnoughts. I just started this one the other night. I've been using this one a bit, but it's just as unfinished or unbadly. Unfinished? Unbadly? Yeah, just as unfinished as this other one. Okay, so I need some black. I'm sort of gonna go with something similar between the two of them. One's black, one's red. I will need some Dawnstone. I will need some not Corn Red. Corn Red, that's for heretics, right? With Piston Red. I'll need some black. I also want some Brass Scorpion. And probably Lead Belcher. Let's grab that one. Lead Belcher. Black. Grab Brass Scorpion. Brass Scorpion, where the hell are you? Brass Scorpion, there we go. Okay. What's happening, everyone? Good evening. Bad Francis, good evening. Jason, what's happening? Tommy's sober. It's good to be sober, Tommy. Don't feel too down about being sober. It's good to be sober. Why are you sober tonight, man? What's happening? I think when you get into the habit of being sober a lot, then that's when it's weird. When you're not sober is weird. Spike Sobel just finished assembling the Brutalis. How long did it take you, Spike? It took me fucking ages to assemble that Brutalis. Look, I've only been live for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes in fact, so we're swearing already. So I think my live streams, I think for like 4 years or something, I tried to just not swear, and I try so hard to not swear in front of my kids. So I think what's happened is the second I get on here, it's like all my swear words for the entire day, they just want to come out. So I've been not swearing all day in front of my kids. Just taking an easy detox. Good for you, man. I'm doing some fasting at the moment. I did like a 12-week fast back in the summer. It must have been like June through September. Yeah, it was, because the fast ended on my birthday on like the 30th September. I was off it for a few weeks, but I'm back on it, so I must be in like week 5 now, I think, of fasting again. So I'm not fasting like 24 hours, I'm just doing like the 16/8 fast. But it's good. It's really good. It's going to be a good stream, says VT. Yeah, because I just started swearing within the first 3 minutes, yeah. How are you, VT? Good evening. Good evening, Eternal Crusader. Working on Sanguinary Guard. Dude, I sprayed my Sanguinary Guard. Once we get 50 people in the chat tonight, I'll show you my Sanguinary Guard. I'm so pleased with how he's turned out sprayed, because the conversion was such a nightmare. So I'll get the video up this week of how I did the conversion of it, along with like showing you the final sprayed version of the Sanguinary Guard. So I got him done yesterday morning. I felt so happy about it. I think he looks really good. I wish I was painting Blood Angels. I've got to finish a Tomb King's commission. Well, I mean, if you're getting commissioned though, you're getting paid, right? It's not the worst thing in the world to get paid to paint minis, is it? That's the way that, like, that's probably why I love my YouTube channel, is because, like, essentially I do get paid for being here, or I do get paid for making the videos, but, like, you know, it's a lot easier for me to do Warhammer stuff than it is to do the day job, I feel like. So, you know, if you're getting paid to do something you enjoy, even if it is tough, even if you don't want to be doing it, at least you're getting paid for it, man. So good for you. I don't think I'm fast. I'm not a fast enough painter to do commission work, or to a high enough standard. So basically, I know that I fielded this red Brutalis a bunch of times, and I know it's in a horribly unpainted state. So I thought I'd just grab it out and put it on the painting table next to the black one that I've been working on now for a couple of nights, and sort of unify the plan for like wherever one is going red, the other one is going black, and vice versa. So we'll get a bit of a unified plan on these two Brutal. I wish they hadn't called the Ballistus and Brutalis. I wish they didn't both start with B, because I confuse it all the time. Hello Maximilian, how you doing? Hello Carl. Hello Mr. Science. I literally just finished putting together my Brutalis. Yeah, a lot of people have been putting Brutalises together. It took me ages to do mine. Ian and Gareth, got my newborn sleeping on me. He's got a rotten cold. Hope you're going to keep me company for a bit. Yeah, I'll be here for a couple hours, probably till about 10 o'clock UK time, so it is like 2 hours from now. It's that time of year, isn't it, where everybody's ill. So my wife is a little bit ill, and my kids was a little bit ill last week, so yeah. Winter, I don't know where you're at, Gareth, but winters in Scotland suck for that, because like everybody gets ill in Scotland, it feels like. Evening Cambo, how you doing? The black one is looking nice. I was going to say, I think they're going to both look good, but I'm supposed to be running 2 Ballistuses in my next army list to see if I enjoy that. So I figured if I've got... I like my units to be battle ready painted at least, so I like them to be a bit more than battle ready, to be honest, but I very rarely get time to finish them up to... So when I'm running a unit for the first time, it's always a little bit unpainted. Hello, Brendan, thank you so much for subscribing, do appreciate it. I am still trucking along towards that 20,000 subscriber mark. Had like another 40 something yesterday, so it's going well, We'll get there. 20,000 subscribers, that'll be halfway on the goal to 40,000, like Warhammer 40,000, huh? I think 40,000 is a pipe dream, but 20,000 is realistic. The sad thing is I won't even run my Brutalis the next game. Yeah, I mean, I've got a made Brutalis Dreadnought, and I think since I've made it, I have never run it. I don't know how I feel about the Brutalis in terms of, like, it being competitive. Well, I mean, I guess I feel like it's not overly competitive is probably the answer. It's a cool model. It's just I don't really know what we're doing with the Brutalis Dreadnought, I guess. I mean, I'd rather run a Brutalis Dreadnought than a Death Company Dreadnought. I think the Death Company one is horrifically overcosted. Crispy Delicious is working on the new Sanguinary Guard. Do you feel that the new Sanguinary Guard are a... like, do you think the new scale of them is noticeably different? Because I've only built one Sanguinary Guard out of the new box. And I felt like... he was fine. Like, I didn't feel like he was amazing, or I didn't feel like, oh my goodness, this is a new scale and this is so much better. I just sort of, like I said, I've only built one, but I kind of just felt like it's fine. I was kind of hoping to be blown away, right? I guess, like, normally when you get new Primaris models, you can be very excited. They can be bigger, they can have more details. I don't know if I felt like that with my one. Maybe it's too early to tell, because I only have one. Maybe? I think I'm going to give this Dreadnought a black shoulder pad as well. Not shoulder pad, knee pad. I think we're going to do one black knee pad, maybe this one, and then I'll put a transfer on it or something. I love the look of the Redemptor frame. Yeah, I mean, the Redemptor frame looks tough, but in game, are they that tough? Clint starting the new captain. Evening, Clint. Yuvengi, hello, it's been a hot minute. Hello Frank, how you doing? My videos have been struggling recently for some reason. October is a graveyard. YouTube has peaks and troughs, man. And I think that there's no rhyme or reason to it sometimes. Because I'm sure I've done videos that I thought were amazing that got me no growth. Likewise, I've you know, like I've got the 2 kids, like I said, sometimes they're ill and stuff, so sometimes I might have to rush out a video. I've also rushed out a video that I was convinced was going to do terrible and it was a rubbish video. That's done absolutely fine, so... I don't think I would like YouTube to be my main... You know, like, if that... Like, I like having a regular job that brings in regular cash. Because I think if you were doing YouTube, I think it's very fickle, right? Like, because you can make the video that you've thought in your brain is the best video ever, you've got the perfect title, you've got the perfect idea, but then it just doesn't sit with your audience for some unknown reason, or the algorithm didn't like it, and then all of a sudden, like, it just... Yeah, I wouldn't like it. It's hard. Hello Marius, good evening! I'm trying to like the heads on the Sanguinary Guard. You know what? I tried all the new Primaris heads on the Sanguinary Guard, and then I compared them to, like, older heads, firstborn heads, what other heads? Crimson Lord heads, and I honestly thought that the new Sanguinary Guard head was, like, the weakest. So I had, like, 6 heads. It was, like, 2 of them were Crimson Lord, one of them was, like, firstborn, one of them I think was like 3D printed a while ago, one of them might have been from like an upgrade sprue, and like I just thought the new heads are the weakest part of that Sanguinary Guard kit. I just hated the new heads. They're too Stormcast. They are Stormcast heads. To me they aren't Sanguinary Guard heads. If you like them, more power to you, but I tried, like I got the whole model together except the head. And then, like, I dry fitted a bunch of different heads, including the new one. Like, I tried to be fair, or I tried to give it a chance. I tried to put it on the model and be like, do I really hate this that much, or is it just because it's on the sprue and it's not coloured and I'm not 100% sure how I think? But, like, when I put it on, I just really didn't like it. I was like, no, I don't like this at all. I thought it might just be me being funny. I am kind of funny when it comes to stuff like that, but no, I just didn't like it at all. Horus helmets look good on them. I did actually think about putting a beak helmet on the new Sanguinary Guard. You have been putting out a long streak of top shelf videos, says Clint. Thanks, Clint, man. I feel like there was a few weeks in there where I just couldn't do anything wrong. Because, like, I've definitely done things wrong on YouTube before, right? Like, I've put videos out that nobody watches, and it definitely felt like there was a streak of, like, 10 weeks or something where, like, every week I was just putting out a banger of a video. And I think some of that is a little bit to do with luck, or it could be like some of it's timing as well, you know, like new codex coming out. People want to know stuff about the new codex, and I feel like I, you know, played the new codex a lot and knew what I was talking about. But yeah, it's I felt like I put out a bunch of banger. A banger, I guess, is just like a really good thing, right? Like if something's a banger, it's just awesome. So I put out a bunch of bangers, but I think there was a little bit of luck in there, Clint, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it would just put out 10 great videos in a row. I mean, it could happen, right? Thanks, though. I appreciate the kind words. It's very kind of you. I still get the odd hate comment that tell me I don't know what I'm doing, but they're always fun to read. Use the new Sanguinary Guard helmets now for the Blade Guard. Huh, I need to make some more Blade Guard. Maybe I should use those new Sanguinary Guard helmets. Has anyone tried? Have you tried it on the Blade Guard? Tommy? The Blade Guard have those like medieval knight style helmets with the big face. Like the big metal paneling on the face, right? Maybe for like a Blade Guard Sergeant, that wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. I missed the start. Are you having issues with the channel? Your content has been awesome lately. Between the main channel and the 3 grots, you've been keeping me busy. No, I don't think I've been having problems. I've just been saying in general in the past I've definitely made videos that I thought were really good that just didn't perform. Guys, if you get 2 seconds tonight, please, please, I can't implore you enough. Please press the like button on the stream. It does help me out ever so much. Check my we've almost got 40 people watching live. Check how we turned out. Sprayed. So this was my guy with his double sword, or his double blade. This is double bladed blade because we didn't want him to have a spear. I think it was like there's some areas like under here, under the shoulder pad. This obviously the spray didn't get 100% in there, so I just need to touch that up with gold. And there's some like really tight bits in here as well behind his arm where the spray didn't 100% hit it in there. But I think with a quick touch up of gold, maybe like some gold in behind his head as well, actually. I think he looked really good, and I think because I made a bit of a mess where I cut the spear, and I made a bit of a mess around his hand, because I had to put so much glue on it to get it to hold. But looks good, right? Very Darth Maul. Yeah, I mean that's what it was. Double sword. Andrew says twin blade. I'm so gonna do that. Yeah, I didn't want him to have a spear, but I did want him to have the banner. That was where this idea came from. I just noticed there that there's a little bit. I'm gonna have to file the back of his. Yeah, I missed that when I was. I guess when I was cleaning it up, I didn't notice that. Annoyingly, he is now sprayed with this stupid little cut mark on him. Wonder if I've got something I could stick over the back of this foot to hide that. Do you know what? I knew about that as well, and I was just so excited to get him sprayed actually. Alright, we need to stick something over the back of his foot. What gold spray did I use? It's just a Games Workshop one. Retributor Gold. I spray Retributor Gold over black though, so he did get sprayed black first. I think it gives better coverage if you spray the black first. I don't know how GW thinks Sword and Banner is going to work on the models. Well, that was my thought. I started doing a conversion. I started building one because I knew I wanted to convert one, and then when I was like, maybe like 20 minutes into it, I was like, I want this guy to have the banner and the sword. So that's sort of where that idea came from. Crispy Delicious says the Sanguinary Guard are significantly larger. They don't blow me away, it really just feels like a formality painting them up. Are they significantly larger? Let's see, let me see one. I guess they are significantly larger. Probably like 50% larger, I guess. Fortunately, my firstborn one's actually still taller than this guy, so I can probably just use him as I can just use the firstborn guy as you know, if anyone says like, oh, are you using firstborn to represent Sanguinary Guard, I can be like, well, actually, the firstborn guy's taller with a sword sticking up. You think he said he's just going to stick the banner to the base of the model, figure it out that way. Yeah, that could work. I kind of just wanted to make one that was holding a banner, and there didn't seem to be a nice way to attach the banner as part of a blade without doing something. So that's where the idea of the double-bladed came to my head. Tell me, did any of you guys watch Jake Paul versus Tyson? It would have been last night or this morning in the UK. Did anyone watch it? Hello, Pound. How you doing? This weapon shall forever be known as an Carmine Double Dipper. I like that. That's what we'll call it on stream. In Carmine Double Dipper. No one will be confused by what that is. Netflix was crashing? Was it really? I don't... Like, I knew the fight was on... to be honest, I actually thought the fight was tonight. Because I thought it was like... It said, 1 AM. I was thinking, oh, that's 1 AM. I don't stay up till 1 AM. I'll watch it in the morning. But then, like, when I got up this morning, I've got like a cross trainer that I do exercise on in the mornings. So I like got on my cross trainer, and then it was like I went to like put something on the telly, because I've got a telly in the room that's got the cross trainer on, and it was like, oh, the fight was last night. Oh, of course, 1 AM is like last night. So I watched all 8 rounds this morning. It was a bit... Hawaiian says boring. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the most competitive fight in the world, was it? It was basically 8 rounds of... Well, 6 rounds of Tyson getting punched without really much retaliation. He just didn't have the reach and he was too slow? I actually thought Jake Paul was a little bit worried in round 1. Maybe round 1 and 2. Because he kept grabbing onto him to just slow him down. What's the paint you're using in the metallic part? I am currently using Brass Scorpion. I mean, essentially it's a corn paint, or it's a paint that I suppose you would probably see on like corn vehicles. But I find that for any kind of tubing or pipe work, basically if there's a tubing or a pipe work, I'm doing it in one of 2 colours. I'm either doing it Lead Belcher, or I'm doing Brass Scorpion, and then after it's dried I just hit it with Nuln Oil, like an all-over wash with Nuln Oil. I feel like Brass Scorpion with an all-over wash of Nuln Oil just gives you like the piping you would expect in the 41st millennium, so like pipes that are all like gritty and nasty and not exactly kept clean, if that makes sense. So yeah, all sort of piping for me is Brass Scorpion or Lead Belcher. Hound says he's great, he just lost a game versus 8 Hellverns and 2 Big Knights. The match felt really scripted. Hellvern spam is pretty strong, dude. Or Armiger spam in general, I guess, is pretty... It's almost better to just have, like... I think that probably the strongest Armiger lists only have, like, 1 or 2 Big Knights. It's like, the more Armigers you have, the better, really. Like, if someone comes up against me with, like, 4 Big Knights, I find that, like, a lot easier to deal with than, like, 1 Knight and, like, 11 Armigers or something. I think that's much harder to deal with. Oh, the match for Tyson's match felt scripted. Well, I don't know if I felt scripted. I just think that he was past it. Yeah, exactly. He was dangerous for maybe round 1 and 2, so Jake Paul just grabbed onto him to like basically eat up the clock in those first couple of rounds, and then by then he was done. It was basically rounds 3 through 8. He was just getting beaten. I think the only chance he had was if he was going to land one like super lucky punch. So he was just hanging on there in case there was a lucky punch, but it never came. It wasn't the greatest match, I must admit. You think 3 Predator chassis are slowly become meta after looking at this tournament list? I do not, because I don't think many people will run out and buy Predator chassis, because I think basically firstborn tanks are on life support. Like, I think it's highly unlikely firstborn tanks survive into the 11th edition. I think all the Space Marine firstborn tanks will be gone, except maybe, there's a big maybe, Land Raiders. Because I think Land Raiders are big enough and iconic enough that they kind of still fit. But I think like Predators, Whirlwinds, Vindicators. What other firstborn tanks do we have at the moment? We don't have much else, do we? Predators, Vindicators, Whirlwinds, is there any more? I think they'll all be gone. So if you've got Predators or Vindicators and you want to get the last use out of them, I think now is the time. And I must... I took to the tournament that I won. The tournament I won, I took Predators too. Like I had a double Predator list when I won that GT in the summer. Hi, Martel, how you doing? Mark says game coming next week. Yeah, there was supposed to be a game on Wednesday night. Colin called it off. He's unwell. Like I said at the start of the stream, a lot of people are unwell at the moment here in Scotland. I don't know if it's influenza or just seasonal flu or what. But yeah, hopefully we'll be back to a live battle report this Wednesday, and then hopefully at the end of the month I've got a game arranged against Miles. So Miles might be bringing 2 armies I literally never see on the channel or very often on the tabletop. So Miles is either going to bring us Thousand Suns or Genestealer Cults. I think I only have 1 game against Genestealer Cults, period. Thousand Suns, I do not have many games against Thousand Suns, like 5 or something in the 7 years I've been back playing 40k. So they're armies that I don't run into very often, so it would be lovely to get them on the channel. 1, because it gives variance on the channel, but 2, it lets me practice against armies that I don't... Like, if you go to a tournament, you're always going to be, at least 1 game, you're going to end up playing an army you're not really familiar with, or not really experienced against. So I think that always helps. Oh, the Rhino and the Razorback? Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to bet like $100 to say there's no chance Rhinos and Razorbacks are not getting removed. Like, no one runs Rhinos, Marius. I don't think I've seen a single Razorback in 10th edition. There are too few Primaris options. They'll just start the next edition with a Primaris tank, dude. They put a Dreadnought in this edition. Why won't they put a... They'll put a... Alright, here's a bold prediction. It's 18 months away. 11th edition box set for Space Marines, because there's always Space Marines in the box set for the new edition, right? That's what we need to do. I need to do just a dumb stream. 11th edition box predictions, because I bet you we can probably figure it out. I bet you we're going to get a tank. I bet you we're going to get Vanguard Veterans, Primaris Van Vets. Just because, like, the Primaris really have no jump units beyond the Assault Intercessors. So I think we'll get Primaris Vanguard Veterans. I think we'll get a new tank that can probably be built in, like, 3 variants. Same as the Gladiator, right? If I had to guess, that's what I'm guessing. Do you know whose lists are on the stream tomorrow? I have no idea. I check like 10 minutes before I go live with the stream, dude. Are you waiting, Cambo, are you? Are you on the to-do list? I mean, I have been prioritizing member lists since the new codex came out, just because I've had so many submissions. You've got a list full of Reavers and you're apologizing in advance. That's fine. I would have expected nothing less from you than a list full of Reavers. Thank you very much for submitting your Reaver list. Primaris Devastators, we already got them, dude. They're Desolation Marines. What do you think about Storm Speeders with the points reduction? My problem with Storm Speeders is maybe not their points cost. My problem with Storm Speeders is probably the fact that I don't really know what role they fit, because they basically have like the same defensive profile as a gladiator tank. They're like 1 down on wound and 1 down on toughness than a gladiator tank. So it's like, what's a Storm Speeder trying to achieve? Because it's not going to have as much firepower as a gladiator tank. So the Storm Speeder is there to buff other shooting units. The buffs are like extra AP, extra chance to wound, or ignore cover. I think those are the 3 buffs. So like you have to take enough firepower where those buffs are meaningful, otherwise why would you take a Storm Speeder? A new Primaris Hover Predator would be fun. I mean, can they make a Hover Predator different enough to a Gladiator Lancer? Because I think that's what they were maybe trying to make with the Gladiator Lancer. I think with the Gladiator Lancer, they're essentially trying to make like a Predator. You know, like there's a version with the multi-melt on top, and the Las Fusils, I think, on the sponsons, or some variant of Las on the sponsons, and nobody runs it. Assault Terminators and Thunderhammer Terminator Captain might be a shout. Yeah, okay. Yeah, who said that? Assault Terminators. David. Yeah, so we thought we were going to get Assault Terminators with this edition, and they didn't come. Right, so yeah, that's what you're David. David's gone to the future. He's got a DeLorean. He went to 88 miles an hour, and when you go to 88 miles an hour, you get to see some serious shit, apparently. The serious shit we've seen. So yeah, 10th edition then is like 5 Vanguard veterans with jump packs, maybe 10. 5 Assault Terminators with Thunderhammers, Storm Shields, and then a new tank, because you'll need some range fire support to back up all that melee power, right? That might actually be too much melee though. They might not do that. They might only go 1 melee unit. I'm trying to think if they've ever done a box set for a new edition where they've gone harder into melee, and I don't think they have. So maybe... Jason says, what do you think will be in the December update? What December update? For the points cost, Jason, or something else? Who would do better with the captain? The company heroes or the assault intercessors? They're completely different, Living Ghost, in that if you're looking for damage output, you want the assault intercessors. If you're looking for raw survivability, you want the company heroes. And the company heroes are so much more durable. It's ridiculous how much more durable they are. So like, for 25 points more, you get 6 more wounds, and you get like -1 to wound all the time, which is just huge. And then the fact you also get something of a like they're also, company heroes also really good against someone said earlier in the stream they're struggling against Helver and spam. Company heroes are also really good against armigers. There's a failed save doesn't kill a guy. You know, three wounds off a guy leaves a guy in 1 wound. So company heroes are like, I guess against armigers, they're just massively better. Because armigers go from like wounding on 2s to wounding on 3s, and then it's 2 failed saves to kill a guy. I like, if you're struggling to hold objectives, then I think company heroes are brilliant, with a captain, are a brilliant unit. But if you're feeling confident about objectives, you never feel like you need an extra unit that can just sit around and hold objectives, and you just want to do the maximum damage output that you can, then I would take the Assault Intercessors all the time. Trixus is building the Blood Angels combat patrol while watching. This is the start of my first army. Very grateful for the channel. Trixus, I'm very grateful you are here. Thank you so much for leaving a comment, especially when you're just brand new and you're starting out. It's always really nice to see new people. You know, welcome to the channel, welcome to the hobby. If you've got questions, please feel like there are no dumb questions. This hobby is insane trying to get into it, and you know, like 7 years on with a giant YouTube channel, I still need to go to Discord and ask for help. You know, I'm like, does this rule interact with this rule? Because people are like, you know, sometimes I get comments on my channel asking about rule interactions, and I was like, oh crap, I don't even know this. I have to go and ask other Blood Angels players. So don't feel feel overwhelmed, sure, but don't feel any pressure about questions or anything like that. Welcome, 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 welcome. Living Ghost says, I'm personally not a fan of hover tanks. I think you can convert the gladiators to kind of not be hovery if you don't want them to be. I think some people on I don't know if I've seen any, but I've definitely heard of some people putting tracks, like old tank tracks, on their new hover tanks because they don't like the hoverness. Hoverness? That's definitely not a word. The hoverness of it. Morning, trucker, how you doing? I like 10 Impulsors right now. 10 Death Company feel difficult to deploy. You can't fit 10 Death Company in an Impulsor, you know that, right? What was the problematic part of building Dante? Was it his knee? There is a really bad contact point on his knee, and you need to just be very clear with a nail file or something when you do his knee. I think he's like inside, like down from his thigh a bit, like the upper knee. It's not super bad, but like a lot of people ended up with a little mark there where they try to get him off the sprue, etc. There should be a balanced data slate in December. I mean, will they have enough data for Blood Angels? Maybe. I mean, what are you realistically hoping for? I think like what might happen is like a few things might come down a couple of points, but I can't foresee like anything massively meaningful happening between now and December. Especially because Blood Angels are performing kind of well. You might even see that Rage Captain go up a few points. Are people running alternatives to the Captain, 5-man Assault Intercessors and the Impulsor combo? Yeah, I think people are running alternatives to it. I didn't run that 5-man Captain Assault Intercessor thing to the tournament I won. I ran the Captain with the Company Heroes. And more recently, I've been running the Fight First Blade Guard, and like the only way I could potentially get that captain with the rage and all that good stuff into my list would be to drop the Fight First Blade Guard. And I just think personally I prefer the Fight First Blade Guard because I think the Fight First Blade Guard are good against more things, and Fight First can cripple some opponents as well. If you're playing like orcs that have the Wah, then Fight First is an absolute disaster for them because you'll just kill most of them when they charge you. there's not much they can do about it. It's not like the orcs can shoot you, right? They've got like ballistic skill 5. They don't fucking hit anything. Is that with the Judiciar? I don't run Blade Guard with the Judiciar. I'm running them with a Captain with the Fight First enhancement. But you can do the Chaplain with the Fight First enhancement. You can do a Judiciar with Blade Guard. That's good too. It's just a different, I guess it's just a different strength in the unit, right? The Fight First Chaplain, just that +1 to wound all the time. When you fight after they charge, that's kind of why I'm on board with that. I love it. I think Fight First with Blade Guard is very, very strong. Even if it's not even the Judiciar with Blade Guard, especially with the new stratagem that we've got to basically get more attacks when we fight after we're charged. Savage Echoes, I believe it's called. Like there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good to do with Blade Guard at the moment. Blade Guard might be one of my favourite units at the moment. Like, I did like running that Captain with the company heroes. Like, I did think that was very strong. But I do think 6 Blade Guard with Fight First is also ridiculously strong. Hey, Ouch! You have finished your first Terminator. Congrats, dude. The Chaplain gives them the chance to punch armor. The Chaplain gives them the chance to punch anything, though, Jason. Because the Blade Guard are like strength 6 when they're charged with +1 to wound. So it's just really, really strong. I mean, unless basically they get to punch anything that is less than toughness 11, and they make them take like 10 or more AP2 saves. So I think when I did it before, I did some maths on like, if you charge the Blade Guard with Fight First with a unit of Terminators, they kill quite a lot of Terminators if I remember correctly. Because the thing is, with the Chaplain leading them, they wound Terminators on 2s. So you get 23 hits, and then you get 23 hits from the squad. You know, the Chaplain brings a bunch of hits as well, but you get 23 hits from the squad, and you wound on 2s. So I wish we could attach a Captain or the Chapter Master to the Blade Guard along with the Chaplain. I think possibly that'd be too strong, Marius. I guess that's why they don't let you attach the Sanguinary Priest to the Blade Guard, even though he should be attachable. El Petrono is painting up Sanguinary Guard for a tournament in Scotland next week. Where about in Scotland, dude? The weather in Scotland today was miserable. It was super cold and super wet. So bring a jacket when you come next week. I thought it might be Glasgow, yeah. Glasgow does host a few bigger events. Maybe get to an event at Glasgow at some point. My brother lives in Glasgow, so maybe I could crash there and save myself some money on a hotel. Can't you attach an Ancient to them? You can attach the Ancient if you have the Captain attached, but most people don't attach Captains to Blade Guard. It feels like that's not the... he's not the best character for Blade Guard. Historically, people always attach the Judiciar because people always just like the Fight First. Now there's a little bit more flexibility with Fight First enhancement. But if we go back into 9th edition, a lot of people did attach Judasaurs to Blade Guard. Like, that was a very common thing. You can attach the Ancient without having the Captain. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want Fight First, the cheapest way would be to attach the Ancient without the Captain, and then when they get charged, up the Ancient's ability to give the extra attacks. I mean, that would be the cheapest way of doing it. I just think the Chaplain's always going to perform better, because +1 to wound, I think, is so huge. The +1 to wound, I feel like, adds quite a lot of reliability to those Blade Guard, honestly. I've not seen him played once. Do you know what? I've never seen anyone play a Blade Guard Ancient. Not once, even though he's the cheapest character ever. Yeah, I mean, he really should have been given a sword. It was like he's got a bolt rifle in a Games Workshop do stupid shit like that, though. Remember the Invader ATV? The Invader ATV attaches to Outriders. Outriders are a unit that kind of want to do melee because they only have like some bolters. The Invader ATV doesn't want to be in melee, that's for sure. Yet, you have to attach it to a unit that wants to be in melee. There's some weird shit. He does have a bolt rifle. I think he's maybe even got a bolt pistol as well. Can you imagine like leaving the Space Hulk, or it wouldn't be the Space Hulk, would it? It would be, imagine leaving the Thunderhawk gunship with your Blade Guard brothers. You might have some play because you can take the Fight First enhancement, use the Battle Shock, and keep OC1 because you get to keep OC1 because of the banner. I mean, you might have some play, Carl, if you're starved in points. Maybe. I just think that I would always try and find the points for the Chaplain or the Judasaur over the top of him. But maybe there's a play there. He only has a pistol. Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, so can you imagine that? You're leaving your Thunderhawk. You are the most ancient Blade Guard in your squad. You are the veteran of all the wars. You have all the experience, and they say, hold on 1 second before you leave. Give us your mastercrafted power sword. Give us your storm shield. Take this banner and take this bolt pistol. It's dangerous to go alone. Like, what? Like, give him something. Like, he could have just had the shield and like Captain America did. You know, like, that would have been the cool way they could have done it. The Blade Guard Ancient has no melee weapon, but he gets to strike for one attack with the shield. He basically just fucking throws it at them like Captain America. And they could have given it a crazy profile. Like, I don't know, 3 plus D3 damage, AP2, 1 attack. Storm Shield Slam. You know, all the units have those tiny little bits of lore written on their cards that no one reads. They could have just written, this Blade Guard Ancient is imbued with the power of a magical Storm Shield. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna bring the flag. Could he not have hit them? Like, can he not hit them with the chapter banner? Like, that's got to be better than what he's got. Like, at least it's a stick, right? I don't know if you guys watched Walking Dead, but the guy in Walking Dead, Morgan, he had a stick, and he was pretty good at killing undeads and stuff with his stick. It's so stupid. I don't mean to be negative, but there has been some really stupid things. That is right up there as one of the most stupid decisions ever. I know, we've got a guy whose name is Blade Guard. We'll definitely not give him a blade. Delta says that Blade Guard should use the banner as a melee weapon. Yeah, I agree. Take 3 Ancients just for rerolls for Sanguinary Guard and Angelic Host. Oh right, because they kill that single Ancient, and then you use your stratagem to let all your Sanguinary Guard reroll against them. I guess. Fine Earth as a Judas are individually £60 because they don't sell it individually, right? They only sold it in one of those big bundles. The Judasar was one of the characters that got trapped. There's been a few characters, or there's been a few units that have been trapped in certain bundles that have never had individual sprues released for them. And I guess if you didn't get those bundles, you're kind of screwed a little bit. It's not ideal, I'll tell you that for sure. Yay for FOMO bundles. Said nobody ever. I'm gonna say my house has been cold all day, but when I'm sitting in here streaming and all the lights are on, I'm gonna take my clothes off and start sweating. There are 3 Blade Guard being absolute artists with their blade, and even then, there's one guy beating people to death with a stick. Yeah, just... The thing is, any Ancient, like used to get a Terminator Ancient. You know, the Terminator Ancient didn't have a shield, but he still had a Thunder Hammer. Or you could give him a Lightning Claw. I think more people give him the Thunder Hammer than they give the Lightning Claw, but you could do that. And then they released the Primaris Ancient. Remember that they released a Primaris Ancient that had a bolter? And nobody used him? Then they released a Primaris Ancient that had a Power Sword. And actually nobody used him either. But yeah, maybe it was just too little too late. Or there was nothing good for that Primaris Ancient to attach to. Maybe it was that. Maybe that was the problem. How long before the chaplain with the jump back is going away the Sanguinary Priest? You think you'll go away with 11th edition? I think we'll get a Primaris chaplain with a jump pack. You know, like we were talking like 10 minutes ago about like what's inside the 11th edition launch box. Maybe the Primaris chaplain with the jump pack and a squad of Vanguard vets is becoming more and more like if we have to start thinking about like what marine units are probably not going to be around anymore. Like I feel like firstborn Vanguard vets are going to go. If firstborn Vanguard vets go, then basically the option for any other chapter, excluding Blood Angels, because we've got like Sanguinary Guard and Death Company, the option for any other chapter to do like melee jump pack units is jump intercessors with chainswords. There is no other option. So if that is the only option, maybe they do the Vanguard veterans, and maybe those Vanguard veterans, because they're not going to give them all Thunder Hammers, they're not going to have lots of good weapon options. They maybe need like a character that can buff them up and make them a bit stronger. Maybe that is a chaplain with a jump pack, right? I could see that. I feel like in some ways that possibly makes some sense. Hello Island Phoenix, how you doing? Are you well? Tactical Marines are gone. Do you know what? They made a big deal at the start of 11th and 10th edition. They did that like Warhammer community article. They're like, don't worry, iconic squads of tactical Marines jumping out of rhinos will still be part of the meta, and you can still take them and nonsense like this. And I was like, I've been playing this game for like 6 years at this point, and I haven't seen anyone ever put a tactical squad inside a rhino. Like, nobody does that. No one's done it for like 2 decades at this point. So it doesn't make any sense, I guess, that we have those units, but we do. Predator should stick around for chaos. I mean, some things may have to stick around because they can't replace everything. So yeah, maybe Predator tanks will stick around for chaos. Maybe Predator tanks will stick around for Marines. I just wouldn't hold my breath. I kind of wish that they would tell us what's sticking around and what's not, because then we could make informed buying decisions. But it feels like they don't want us to make informed buy. They want us to buy models that potentially go Legends or potentially get moved to another game system to force us to play Horus Heresy or to force us to move to another game system. I'm not really willing to do it, I guess. Ouch says that the 11th edition Predator tank is RIP. Yeah, I'm kind of in Team Ouch here. I think that it's highly unlikely that the Predator tank will stay around. Maybe like the Baal Predator or some crazy variant will stay around, but Predator Destructors, Predator Annihilators, I mean, those things have had good runs. We've been playing them for the last 20 odd years. I do kind of think they are most likely on borrowed time. Do I love that? No, but is that the reality as I see it? Yeah, probably. Desolation Marines aren't like Devastator squads. Yeah, I mean, the replacement though, here's the thing. Primaris Marines aren't... like, Intercessors aren't tactical squads, but they've replaced tactical squads. Jump Intercessors aren't assault squads, but they've replaced assault squads. We can probably go on, right? What else? You know, like, the one thing to say about Primaris Marines is they are built to be balanced in a competitive sense. You know, like, all the customization, all the weapon options are just... I was going to say, they're not destroyed, they're just removed. Because it's really hard to balance a squad of guys, I guess, when they can have all sorts of batshit weaponry, when you can only have like one power fist and one extra upgrade or something like that. And it becomes much easier to balance them, I feel like. So I think that's probably what's happened to... And I mean, it's not just I think, it has what's happened. Bad Francis is someone who says, just got into the hobby, I'm not buying any firstborn. I think you're right, Bad. I haven't bought any firstborn since 10th edition came out. And I will not buy any more unless they like actually announce when those firstborn will be good to like give them an expiry date. Because I lost a fuckload of models when 10th edition came out. Like I must have lost like 10,000 points of fully painted, fully magnetized Space Marines. If it wasn't 10,000 points, it's damn close. And you know, years and years of my life spent on those. So I'm not buying anything else firstborn. If they ever kill the Primaris option, I'll be retired by then, so maybe I can spend all day, I was going to say painting models to get back up to where I was. If they kill the Primaris, man, I don't know. I'll go play specialist games. I'll go play whatever game system the Primaris are in next, I guess. Tough to deal with. Do 2023 Terminators count as firstborn? I mean, it's a tough question. I mean, the new Terminator models are really nice, but are they... In terms of, like, when I said I'm not buying any firstborn, I mean, I did buy those new Terminators. I think I have 5 of them. But here's the thing, I guess, like, if I was going to field Terminators, would I just field my old existing painted ones that were smaller models? You know, the ones that I bought in the 80s or 90s or 2000s? Probably, because I haven't spent any time working on my Primaris Terminators. I bought a Land Raider ahead of the tariffs for my Death Guard and Blood Angels. But the only firstborn I'll buy the rest. You talking about those new tariffs that Trump's putting in, or are you talking about some other tariff? Yeah, it was about 10,000 points that I lost. Maybe at the end of the edition I'll do a video on everything that was Legends. It just feels like a very bitter video to make, I guess. Like, it's not a productive video. And I've tried to be quite productive with this edition. Like I have a lot of friends that quit 10th edition. Like, right when 10th edition came out, like, a handful of my friends just flat out stopped playing. I never really tried to not really get caught up in any of the negativity. I don't think it serves any purpose. It's like, you either just have to suck it up and play, or you can moan about it and then probably still play anyway, so just suck it up and put it behind you, I guess. He's meaning the new tariffs for imports from America. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that affects Games Workshop, I guess. Because they don't make any of their products in America, right? So if they put high tariffs on imports from the UK, then the Games Workshop models in America will just go up even more in price. That's crazy. They already have to pay quite a lot more point for point in America, it feels like, anyway. But then we have to do the same thing. Like, if we want to buy an Apple phone, you know, like, if we have to buy an Apple phone, it'll be cheaper in America. The price will be cheaper in America, and like the pound to dollar is supposed to be like 1.2. So I mean, I guess when other things go the other way, it's the exact, we have the exact same problem here in the UK, I guess. Apple is a good example because just, I guess they're a big American company that everybody knows, right? Frank says the Judiciar and the suppressors are behind a paywall to buy minis that you don't care about to get the ones. Yeah, they don't do that very often, Frank, and I don't really know why they haven't expanded out that Judiciar and the suppressors to be more accessible. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me to keep them behind the paywall, especially when they're trying to push the game to be a more competitive game. You know, like they're definitely trying to push the tournament scene, they're definitely trying to push the balance. I mean, one of the reasons they got rid of all the firstborn stuff is because they couldn't balance it, right? You know, they couldn't balance units with all the batshit different weapon options that they used to have and stuff like that. So they're trying to push... They're definitely trying to push for like a more fairer, balanced system, but then you've got units, like you said, like the Judiciar, that just... they're not available to buy. I mean, if you're needing a Judiciar, I would just honestly convert somebody. Buy yourself like a cheap lieutenant or something. I mean, the Judiciar just has a big sword. Just get a big sword. Apple's a bad example. I don't know if they are the worst example, right, Jason? I was going to say, let me just look at the difference here real quick to show you the, like... I guess if you folk in America... Like, you folk in America always get screwed on buying Games Workshop stuff, right? But in the UK, we get screwed on, like, buying... like, iPhones. How can I... Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, like, so... Like, if you want an iPhone Pro, whatever you call this, iPhone 16 Pro, it's $999, yeah? If you want it in pounds, is £999. So exactly the same price. Then if you go to like any exchange site, UK pound to US dollar, like if you just want to exchange a currency, it exchanges at like 25% more. So basically, like in the UK, if we want to buy an iPhone, we're basically just getting shafted for 26%, right? And I remember seeing a video like a long time ago, or a news article a long time ago, where someone wanted to buy like a really good laptop, like a really good Apple laptop, and they're like $3 or $4 grand. And they worked out that the percentage was enough where they could fly from like London to New York, buy the laptop in New York, fly home, and it was cheaper than just buying it from Apple or whatever. So like, regional prices suck, but I guess it's it's just the reality of regional shit getting manufactured in different regions, I guess. Not too much you can do about it, right? Apple is specifically keeping their price at $1,000. Well, I mean, maybe they are. I think that they're just, yeah, I mean, they're just doing it because they can, you know, they've got the monopoly. Is that fair to say? Do you know what? It kind of makes me sick in the stomach though when I think how many iPhones because I've had like quite a few iPhones. I've been on iPhone since like since like 2009, 2010 or something. So all that extra money gone for nothing, just because we live in a crappy exchange rate country, I guess. Evening, Yandros, how are you doing? You can just live in New Zealand to get screwed on iPhones and Warhammer. Oh man, you guys, that would be interesting. You guys in New Zealand need to just have a holiday where you like, you know, you fly to Europe, you buy all your Warhammer, you fly to America, you buy your new iPhone, and then you fly home and you probably still did all that at the same price as if you just got screwed by the import tax. Like, I'm not even joking, you probably could do that, and it would probably cost, like, it would cost you the same to fly New Zealand to London, pick up like a grand of Warhammer, fly to New York, pick up like a new iPhone or a new laptop, fly home. It's the same price. Like, it makes no sense. That would be a good YouTube video, though. I flew around the world and saved $50 on my Mac and $100 on my Warhammer. Make it make sense. Carl says, don't tempt me. You know when you tell your wife, like, my phone's getting a bit screwed, you know, like, the battery isn't lasting very long. I'm gonna go to the Apple store in like a few weeks' time and pick up a new phone. You know, like, just change that conversation to like, hey, you know, my phone's a bit... I'm just gonna fly to New York next week and pick up a new phone, and then, you know, I'm wanting that new Warhammer army, so I'm just gonna fly to London and pick up the Warhammer army. So I'll be back, like, in 3 days with my new phone and my new army. Is that alright? Layover to London for 5 hours. 5 hours might be enough time to get from London Airport to the Games Workshop. You might need like 8. Because you need to clear customs, surely. That can sometimes be a fair old queue, right? Whenever some of our UK employees come to the States for the visit, I always accompany them on a big shopping trip. That's messed up, man. I mean, $250 on an iPhone, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to save if you could save it, right? You know, back in the day when people had pen pals, maybe that's what we need, you know? You have a friend in... So all the American people can have friends in UK, and all the UK people can have friends in America, and we can, like, do a deal. Mind you, it costs quite a lot. Still costs quite a lot to ship stuff from America to US. Or, sorry, England to US. It's still kind of ridiculous. I would never invest that type of money on a phone. Yeah, I guess I'm a sucker for Apple. I have a cheaper one though. That's just, the Pro is like a bit of overkill, I think, for a phone maybe. We'll set up the international 40k smuggling ring. Yeah, that's what we'll call it as well, so it's so not obvious, eh? Did anyone get a battle box? Do you know what? I did not buy a battle box this morning. Tell me who in chat got themselves a battle box and which one. And why did you get it? Are they releasing those earlier and earlier? Because it felt like the battle boxes used to be December, but maybe I'm wrong. Saying stuff like that will get you put on the blacklist. I mean, I say a lot of stuff that has no what do you call it? Has no, like, I'm too busy to do any of this shit, you know that. No intention? I know I'm getting ripped off every time I buy a new iPhone. Does it stop me buying a new iPhone? No. I mean, I can know about it and complain that I'm getting ripped off, right? I'm allowed to do that. What was in the battle box? I know there was a Knights battle box that had multiple Knights in it, but I didn't honestly check too much. Oh, and there was a Dark Angels battle box. I mean, the Dark Angels one looked pretty cool, but I'm not ready to start another chapter of Marines, not right now anyway. I emailed everybody about it this morning, I think, because I think I saw an email about it. I've got into this new habit where I always work out in Saturday and Sunday mornings, so I guess the days of just sitting around doing nothing, ready to feverishly spend money when I get an email on Saturday and Sunday morning is gone for me now. I'm always working out, so I just like glance at my phone, see the email, and I must admit I just delete it instantly because I was like, you know, I'm busy. It means Dark Angels are about to get a big nerf. I don't know. Dark Angels aren't that strong, man. I think they're alright. I wouldn't say they're overly... I don't think they're overly strong right now. I think it's cool that they gave them a battle box, but yeah, I don't think it'll change. I don't think Dark Angels are going to get too many changes. They've had their codex for a while. I think Games Workshop know it's kind of average, and I guess we'll find out, but I don't think there's going to be much changes. I got the Night box for 204 $204. Did you get any of it smuggled, though, Andonius? Or did you just have to pay the regular? Like, what's the middleman taking? I'm bugging with you. $204. So based on the fact that dollars are 25% less, I guess it was like £150? Seems alright. How many knights were in there? Do you think Sanguinary Priest will drop in the next update? I think he's got to, man. No one... Is anyone playing the Sanguinary Priest? I think he's garbage at 90 points. Whether he'll drop enough points that I think he's not garbage is a whole other question, Rennie, but I think it... Oh, sorry, Stanislaw? But at 90 points, I think he's absolute garbage. I think there's no way you could persuade me to take him on a list for 90 points. He's literally a 4-wound character on foot. And he's more expensive than the captain, and the captain's about 10 times more useful. They sold out in 5 minutes. So you think there's a data slate coming? They often sell battle boxes and stuff like that. That isn't necessarily like super competitive. 4 armigers and a paladin for like 150. I mean, 2 armigers, you know, that's a good deal, I guess. If you have to pay American prices, it's a really good deal, isn't it? That's about UK prices, I guess, that you get to pay for that, Andonius. That's decent. You gonna put any of them with your Blood Angels, or are you just starting Knights? I fancy buying a singular big knight at some point. I just haven't found the time. How cheap should he be? I think he should be 60 points. Maybe... Maybe 65? Yeah, I think he's about 20 points too expensive. It was a full smuggled operation. Okay, good. Good to know it was a full smuggled operation. Sorry, I missed a question from Rennie. So now I have the Death Company box and the Combat Patrol. The Combat Patrol, you said like Combat Patrol old and with Sanguinary Guard? If you don't have Dante, you should get Dante. He's awesome right now. If you don't have Infiltrators, they're pretty awesome. If you don't have an Impulsor, it's pretty useful. If you don't have Scouts, they're pretty useful. I mean, there's lots of different ways you can build from the Combat Patrol and the Army box. I actually have done like a couple of videos about that. And the videos are going to give you much more in-depth answers than just what I can give in chat right now while I'm live. But there is a few videos there now about what to buy next, and I mean the video I put out on Friday shows what all the top players, or what the top tournament players are taking next. So I feel like that has been reasonably covered in the recent weeks. So I would say go watch some of those videos. Todd says, save my money and my time and my sanity. Merry Christmas. What saved all that, Todd? Merry Christmas to you, Todd. You're only like a month and 10 days early, but Merry Christmas. Do you have a favourite bit from Crimson Lords? What is it? Yeah, it's the jump packs that should have been in the damn Sanguinary Guard box. That's my favourite bit from the Crimson Lord campaign. The jump packs that we all wanted and basically we all needed, right? Thank God the guy from Crimson Lords appeared when he did, because otherwise I would be very upset about all the lack of Sanguinary Guard parts on my new combat patrol. Morser said his Blood Angels will arrive Tuesday. Very cool, dude. Welcome. Good evening, Ragnarok or Ragnaros. How are you? Not finished watching your video yet, John. Any significant changes to your list? Nothing too significant. I was going to give Astaroth a bit of a rest for a few weeks. I'm going to try the Chaplain on the jump pack for a few weeks. I'm going to try double Ballistus Dreadnought for a few weeks. No, I don't think there's anything massively different. Still using Dante, still using the Fight First Chaplain to read the Blade Guard. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about my list at the moment. Like, I think there might be more changes yet, but I can't figure it out. Someone said, sorry, the question about in a vacuum. Someone said something like, in a vacuum. Sometimes there's too many questions for me to answer all of them. Nomac says, in a vacuum, if you had to pick between jump pack, intercessors and scouts, what's better or mandatory? I think if you don't have either, I would say jump pack intercessors. They're probably easier to play, and they do more things than scouts. Like, scouts are very good at scoring points. Jump pack intercessors score points, but they're also very good at killing things, and sometimes you need units that can... I would say units that can do multiple things are probably just better, especially if you're starting the game or you're new to the game or if you're learning. If your unit can do more than one role, that's probably better. So in a vacuum, if you don't have anything, jump pack assault intercessors. For the record, my current list has 2 units of jump pack assault intercessors and no units of scouts. I did want to have a unit of scouts in there, I just couldn't fit them, and I guess by having the jump pack assault intercessors in there, I guess that just means that, like, personally I rate them higher than scouts, because if I rated the scouts higher, then it would be scouts that were in the list and the jump pack assault intercessors would be dropped. Have I played around World Eaters? I mean, I've played against them. I am 100% a Blood Angels player. I haven't played any army other than Blood Angels. Oh, that's a lie. I've played, like, Black Templars. So apart in the last 7 years or 8 years, I think that's how long I've been playing 40k in this. Like, I quit. I was playing 40k when I was much younger. I came back 8 years ago. In the 8 years that I've been back, I've played exclusively Blood Angels in, like, 99% of the games. I think I've played Black Templars twice. I think I've played Knights. I've played as Black Templars twice. I've played as Knights once. Oh, and I think I've played 1 game or 2 games as Flesh Tearers. So yes, like, I'm very, very much all the Blood Angels all the time sort of guy. Have I changed my list since seeing the tournament results? No, because I didn't get a chance to play the list yet. What I did think was kind of interesting on the most interesting thing I think on the tournament results was, like, none of the tournament results were from people that had that double Gladiator Lancer, which has been perceived as, like, the most meta thing. But apparently it's been perceived by the community as, like, the most meta thing, but then in terms of actually getting results in tournaments, it just hasn't carried across. which is a little bit weird. Red Templars was a strange time. I still like the Black Templars. I think there was a period last edition where they were very, very strong. I mean, that's all it is. I like playing strong armies. There was a period last edition where Blood Angels were really, really weak as well. I think it was Arcs of Omen. Because in Arcs of Omen, that's when I was using Guilliman in my Blood Angels list. Yeah, you're welcome, Nomax. Sorry, if you ask a question again and I don't answer it, don't feel bad. Just ask it again like 10 minutes later. It'll just mean it's... Sometimes I get on these live streams, sometimes I get caught up just talking about absolute bollocks for like 10-15 minutes and then all the questions are missed. So sorry about that. There's more than just you as the Flesh Tearers fan, Carl. One of my biggest channel members, Ryan, who like does super chats like literally every week, he's a huge Flesh Tearers fan. He was like, I think he was gutted when they killed Seth or when they removed Seth. Seth might be back though, eh? I mean, if like Seth might be gone, but is Corbolo gone as well? I don't really know what they're doing with. I guess none of us know what it was the season right before Arcs of Omen that we were the strongest, Cambo. That was when the guy from Art of War won Las Vegas Open with Blood Angels. Was like right before Arcs of Omen. We weren't actually that great in Arcs of Omen. I think it's in Arcs of Omen. I think they removed our permanent Armor of Contempt. I think that's what it was. So before then, we just had Armor of Contempt on every unit all the time. And on some units like the Sanguinary Guard, that was very, very good. It was basically, they were basically on a 1-up save at that point. So you'd have to you hit them with 2 AP and they're in cover and they're still saving on 2s. Sanguinary has appeared. Good evening, Sanguinary. How are you? As much as the season before Arts of Omen Blood Angels were very strong, it was also a very boring time to be Blood Angel player because there was one perceived list and it was miles stronger than everything else. And I think there was like 3 units of Jump Pack Death Company, 3 units of Sanguinary Guard, 3 units of Jump Pack Vanguard Veterans. And it was just miles ahead of everything. Do you have my current list posted somewhere? No, because I think the game... Well, do you know what? I made a video like 10 days ago talking about my current list. So yeah, it's on one of the recent videos on the channel. But we'll be playing it on Wednesday night. I think if you look for... The video was called something like Ad Hoc Army Building. I think it came out maybe like 10 days ago or something like that. But yeah, when I do my live game this Wednesday, the list will be in the video description, so it'll be there on Wednesday night if you can't find it before then. I'm sure you'll find it though if you search for it. Was just watching the end of the Blood Angels tournament video. You learn anything, Sanguinary? No, hold on, I think I can hear one of my kids crying. I'll be right back, one sec. No, it's my wife coughing. Okay. False alarm. I'm really new to the game. Are Blood Angels usually a good matchup against Necrons? Blood Angels are usually a good matchup against lots of things. The trick, though, is to just know how to deal with the thing that you're playing against. Like, one of the things that Necrons specialise in is reviving models from squads. So, like, if you do not kill a whole squad of guys, the Necrons can revive a bunch of them, and basically over a few turns, sometimes they can drop, like, resurrection orbs and get models back. So when you're playing against Necrons, what you want to actually be doing is you want to be killing units outright, so that the entire unit is wiped. There's no opportunity for resurrection. So like Blood Angels usually do okay against lots of different armies. Recently we've seen Blood Angels do quite well, and with the new codex, people are definitely starting to find their feet and starting to win tournaments and perform well at tournaments. Lots of players manage like 80% win rates at tournaments recently with Blood Angels. So Blood Angels are a good all-round army that can deal with a lot of things, and they're quite a versatile army as well. There's multiple ways you can play them. Ultra Squid says he feels pretty good going against anything. Yeah, I feel like I've been feeling the same. I felt before the Codex, I didn't like fighting knights a whole lot. And I kind of feel a little bit still the same. Like, if we come into a lot of knights with a lot of high toughness, I kind of don't love that, but I can beat it, and I have beat it. So yeah, I think Blood Angels are in somewhat of a good state at the moment. I'm very much on team hybrid list though. Like, I really like having the vehicles back up my melee units. I kind of feel like I'd always like more. What vehicle do you guys prefer more? I mean, I like my units to be cheap. My vehicles and stuff, because I don't want to be... I want to still have as many units available, like jump infantry models available as possible. So when I'm fielding vehicles, I like them to be cheap, so that's why I've been going for like Ballistic Dreadnoughts and Predator tanks. Because they are the cheapest. And the way I kind of see the reason behind that is, like, let's say the enemy has like some really, really strong anti-tank. Like, they've got like a Castellan Knight, and we all know Castellan Knights pretty much just kill one tank every turn. And it doesn't matter what tank it is. It's a Predator tank, which is 130 points, or it's a Land Raider that's 240 points. They still just kill one tank per turn. And I think by having the cheapest tanks I can have, it means that when I come into those armies that have a unit that just kills a tank every turn, well, I feel much more happy about them killing a really cheap tank than killing a really expensive Land Raider. So I guess that's my... When I'm trying to build my army and include some tanks, that's my decision making around taking the cheapest tanks I can find. Because some armies will just wipe out a tank every turn. I'd much rather they wipe out like a really cheap tank than a tank that I've spent like I said, 240 points or even in the case of Redeemer, like 280 points, which is kind of crazy. Some people still, like, even this week just passed, some people actually did really well with Redeemers, and some people basically won tournaments, or maybe they didn't win the tournament, but they came like second place with those damn Land Raider Redeemers. I thought the Redeemer had kind of had its time in the sun, but it seems not. It seems like if you really persevere, you can still make a Redeemer work. Even at 285 points, you can still win tournaments or do really well in tournaments with Land Raider Redeemers. I kind of dropped them when they got that jump to 285 points. That was kind of the last straw for me. I was like, okay, these things already were expensive. Now I think they're too expensive. But you know, some people like to stick with what they know, and it does seem like you can still make it work. Having Sanguinary Guard and Death Company, I don't want to charge transports. Yeah, well, that's the precise reason that I'm painting these Brutalis Dreadnoughts, pretty much. Because I want, like, if the enemy have transports, like Predators or something similar, I don't want to have to deal with those with my infantry units. I just want to blow them up with some long-range las cannons and then let the infantry units kill everything that's inside. So that's kind of my... I guess that's kind of why I like... Well, I think, here's the thing, before they changed it, because if we go back a little while, Death Company used to... There was a time where Death Company were just Thunderhammers, right? It's only recently everybody moved away from Thunderhammers to Infernal Pistols and Power Fists. So if you go back to the time when Death Company were all Thunderhammers, then it made sense to include some sort of fire support to blow up those transports to let the Thunderhammers hit what's inside the transports, right? Would you find 2 Ballistas and 1 Lancer acceptable? Yeah, 100%. My next list is 2 Ballistas and 1 Predator. The only reason that I take the Predator over the Lancer is it's cheaper. Is the Lancer possibly better? Like, if we're talking about raw anti-tank, anti-transport killing, yeah, the Lancer probably is better, but the Predator's cheaper, and I'm trying to keep as much points as I can for my jump units. But I've got a Lancer tank, and the guy Mike, who hangs out in the chat sometimes, I've commissioned a second Lancer tank with him. He told me he was like pretty close to finishing it, so I'll have 2 Lancers before too long. I just think at some point the Predator tank's going to get moved to Legends, and I'm going to have to replace it. And as much as I like the Ballistas Dreadnoughts, I've not tried 2 of them yet. I've heard a few people saying really good things about double Ballistas Dreadnought, and I've also heard some people saying really good things about triple Ballistas Dreadnought just because they're so cheap. Sanguinar's been running 2 Lancers. How are you getting on with that? Because that's apparently the most meta way to be playing Blood Angels at the moment, is the double Lancer build. Cabo says 10th edition feels much more normalized. The meta matters less. I mean, if that's true, I'm not sure it is true, but if that's true, it's probably a good thing, right? I think it kind of sucks when there's only 1 or 2 valid builds and they are seen as the meta and you're not really supposed to do anything else or take any other build. I think that's boring. The other gun, yeah, I mean, like, I feel like every gun on the Lancer except the Laser Destroyer is just kind of a, hey, you're gonna maybe kill 1 infantry sort of gun. They're not really a meaningful gun. Yeah, if you... I think you're right, Bad. If the Predator is likely to go to Legends, then 2 Ballistas, 1 Lancer is probably a good place to start. It's kind of why I've been commissioning the Lancers, to give myself options, because I do think the Predator tanks are gonna... I mean, it sucks that they go away. I do think they will go away. The Vindicator tank is fun. I played a couple to a tournament. They do alright. I think the thing about the Vindicator tank is they can swing insanely high, and if they swing high, they just kill anything, which is kind of nice. Guys, if you get 2 seconds tonight and you can hit the like button on the stream, it does really help me out. I do appreciate it. Please consider doing that. Would help me out, so thank you. It took you 1 year to have about 4,000 points of painted. That's good going, man. I worked it out. I usually paint about 2,000, or I used to paint 2,000 points a year. I've been painting less since I started doing, like, I don't do YouTube full time, but I guess I do it full time of my free time, if that makes sense. So, like, most of the time, if I have a free evening or something, I make a YouTube video. So I still have a day job I have to go to and shit like that, but when I have free time, I usually try and spend it filming something for YouTube. And yeah, I think I was doing 2,000 points a year probably since I started doing YouTube. For most of my free time, it's probably like 1,000 points a year. So 4,000 a year is decent. I mean, do that for 5 years, you'll have 20,000 points. Holy shit, that's a lot of points, you know? That's what I always say to people that struggle with motivation for painting. I was like, well, if you just paint like 2 hours a week every week, 2 hours a week is really not that much, you know, but that's still 100 hours a year. If you do 100 hours of anything, you'll get a lot done. Hey, thanks so much, Joran, for subscribing. Do appreciate it. Casper? Is that how you say it? Casper says, hi, I just started Blood Angels from the Death Company box. Now I'm confused. Should I paint the Dreadnought red because the Brutalis is better than the Death Company Dreadnought? You literally paint it any way you like, dude, because the paint job is irrelevant when it comes to how you field it on the tabletop. For example, I am painting this is a shooting dread. This is a dread that has guns. I am painting it in Death Company black because I have this other one that I was painting in red. I think it would be boring to paint them both in red. Anytime I'm like struggling with motivation, I'm not even struggling because I paint every week. I just justify the fact that I want to paint it in a different color by the fact that like I just don't want to do the exact same thing twice, I guess. So I have this is a shooting dreadnought, so it makes literally no sense that this dreadnought would have that would be in because Death Company is all about melee, right? So it makes very little sense that this dreadnought with its las cannons would be black but I've decided to paint it black because I just don't want to do a second one red when I'm doing one right there. So basically, with your Brutalis Dreadnought, you can paint it red, or you can paint it black, or you could even paint it gold if you wanted it to be some sort of like Sanguinary Dreadnought. For me, I actually wanted to paint this guy. I was going to paint this guy gold because, like I said, it didn't actually make a load of sense for him to be black because of the Death Company, but I only had a little bit of gold spray left. And I was wanting to spray this guy. And I really wanted to get him gold. So I ended up using the gold spray left on him, so this guy just is black. But as long as they're different, for me, then it keeps it fresh for me. So you can do anything you want. The paint job doesn't... It used to be that the paint job was important for the tabletop rules, but they got rid of all that. So you just paint it any colour you want. Which I think is for the best. So the great thing about Blood Angels, I guess, is we have guys that wear gold, we have guys that wear black, we have guys that wear red, and you can choose, and you can do any model in any colour, and there's not really a wrong or right to it. I mean, someone might say to me, John, it doesn't make a whole heap of sense that your shooting Dreadnought is black. I'll just say to them, I know, I just didn't want to paint another one red. Fair? It is Casper, but in Poland we use a C instead of a... sorry, we use a K instead of a C. Okay, hello Casper, welcome to the channel, how you doing? Do we need to paint the Assault Intercessors with those goofy yellow helmets? We don't need to. No, 100% we don't need to. But honestly, yellow helmets on Assault Intercessors kind of can look awesome. I have a general rule of thumb where, like, if it's a fire support unit, so like as a unit that's got a big gun, I'd probably give them a blue helmet. If it's like a battle line unit, like a standard unit, I'd probably give them the red helmet. And if it's a close combat unit, I would give them the yellow helmet. And if it's the sergeant for the unit, I would give them a gold helmet. But I mean, I just made that up myself. You know, like, so if there's a way that you think would be better and it suits how you want to paint them, go for it. But I think the thing about the yellow helmets is you can make them look awesome. I was going to say, I've got my new test thing here I can show you. Let me see if I can bump the filter. Nope. Is it properties? Nope. Must be filters. Yeah. Here you go. Here's a cool yellow helmet. We go even further. Filters. Is that goofy? I don't think so. I think it looks grungy and awesome. But I mean, if you don't like the yellow helmets, you know, you don't like the yellow helmets, do you, man. It's your army, you choose. I think if you do the yellow helmets like a bright yellow and then you wash it down with something that gets in all the recesses, you can make it look pretty gringy and pretty, like, you know, they've been in the thick of it, they've been fighting, they've got crap all over their face. I think you make it look good. Flesh Tearers painting the helmets yellow? I have no idea. Someone in chat will tell you. I don't think the Flesh Tearers painting their helmets yellow, do they? What is the rule of thumb for Flesh Tearers helmets? Are they just all sort of their ruby red or whatever you call it? Antonio says the yellow helmets are sick. I do really like my yellow helmets. There is easy ways to paint those yellow helmets as well. They're not difficult to do at all. Oh, Rallis, good evening, how are you? Nicholas says he tried yellow helmets on his first model. Yeah, I mean, I guess they can be a little bit tricky. But I mean, practice, you gotta practice, man. You know, I guess at this point, if I've been back at the hobby for 8 years now, I mean painting every week for 8 years, I don't even know if I'm good yet. I'm better than I was, that's for sure. Good. The jury's out on good. Ouch has some really complicated colour schemes that fit in well. I don't want complicated Ouch, man. I was gonna say, my life's complicated enough. I just want simple. Simple, simple, simple. I have been working on a Dante painting video now. I was gonna say, I need like a whole day. I need like a kid-free day. That's my problem. A whole day without kids. So I can just finish this damn Dante painting video. Jay Holder has been doing all his company markings by hand. Good for you, man. If you ever want to do that stuff, you've got to practice. I mean, like, this X on this Death Company Dreadnought is just freehand, and I don't think it looks good at all. But I mean, I guess if I went back like a year or two to the last time I do an X by freehand, and I bet you the last X looked like absolute ass compared to that. So like I said, it just comes down to, you gotta practice. And then those old models will be a reminder of where you were and where you've gone. Base coat the yellow helmet with Army Painter Demonic Yellow. Wash with Cassandra Yellow, then dry brush with Uriel Yellow, and then Flash Gitz Yellow. That's a lot of yellows. But yeah, I mean, I guess the idea is to find something that works for you. Sometimes you can find tutorials as well. There's no end of tutorials on YouTube for how to paint things. Do you know what? I do want to say something though, actually, about that, is like, I don't know how many of you guys got the new Combat Patrol box. I got it, obviously. And the one thing I did want to say about the Combat Patrol is, like, you see at the top here where they showed the paints, they have trimmed this massively. Like, there's like 12 paints up here for the whole Combat Patrol. And I feel like I remember, do you know what, I've maybe got one of the, you know, like, here's the Sanguinary Guard before. They have 12 paints. And that's just for the Sanguinary Guard. So now they've, like, for the Combat Patrol, they've simplified it to, like, 12 paints. And see if you're starting out painting, because we have a bunch of people on the stream that said they're starting out. This feels so much more manageable than, like... Alright, let me just... Like, I've painted Sanguinary Guard for years, right? I do use Seraphim White, I do use Mephiston Red. I've never used Cantor Blue. I've never used Balthazar Zord, Genehan's Gold, or Auroric Armor Gold. Don't use any of those golds, just use the other Retributor Gold. So, like, they do... Like, when you're new... When you're new to painting, it can be a bit daunting to have, like, what you just said, Clint, about the 4 different yellows. That can be quite daunting, or that can be difficult to understand, like, especially when they don't give you any process. They just sell you Balthazar Gold, Genhaz Gold, and Auric Armor Gold. Like, how do you do that with those 3 golds? Like, to me that feels... Sorry, I just realised that wasn't all in the camera, but there's 3 golds here, and like, you see the hand with all the detail. Like, how the fuck is a new player gonna be like, or a new painter gonna be like, oh yeah, I can totally use those... I just said that I've been painting 8 years. I couldn't even do that hand. I couldn't even... Like, that hand is ridiculous. Like... Well, it's a power fist, but I would just paint that whole thing Retributor Armor Gold and fucking slap Reichland Flesh Shade over it. Done. So, when I did see that Combat Patrol that they'd lowered the number of colours from like 12 on a small kit, I felt happy about that, because I feel like I'm a standard battle ready type painter. I don't do crazy combos. I can't, even if I wanted to do crazy colour schemes, I can't do that. I'm not good enough at painting. I was never an artist, you know. It took me like 3 years to actually make some semi-decent thumbnails on YouTube. If we go back and look at my thumbnails for the first like 2 years of the channel, they're tragic. The new set don't have the wings, yeah. I mean, I guess the new set don't have the wings, so that you wouldn't need as many paints because of that, yeah. But there is ways to get those wings, and a lot of people are buying the 3D painted stuff. 3D printed stuff, sorry, not 3D painted. 3D printed parts from like Crimson Lords. It's something that a lot of people are using to get wings. Death Metal by Army Painter. I mean, I like the name of the paint. I've never actually seen it. Death Metal. Why is it called Death Metal? I don't mind Retributor Armor Gold. I kind of like the Retributor Armor spray, I must admit. It gives good... The spray gives fairly good coverage. I do like it for that. The Crimson wings from the Daka Daka store are actually really nice. Yeah, I've been using the Crimson Lord ones. I really like those as well. Highly recommend the Crimson Lord parts if you haven't checked them out. I gladly give up my wings. Dude, I've just kit bashed one of the new Sanguinary Guard with wings, man. I spent like the whole evening doing it. It's funny how the wings are so decisive. Some people hate them, some people love them. I'm definitely in the camp love. I think for me it's just they've always had wings. Or they've had wings as long as I can remember, so I feel like they should still have them. But yeah, if you don't like them, you don't like them, I guess. Some people didn't. Some people always didn't like them. Some people used to make their models without the wings on them, and there used to be drama about it. Like, people were like, "Oh, you're modelling for advantage by not putting the wings on the Sanguinary Guard." That was a thing that actually happened, yeah. Ultra Squid, thanks so much for hanging out. You have a nice evening, my friend. I'm here for 9 more minutes, I think. Promised the wife I'd go see her at 10 o'clock. I'm back tomorrow night though for the Army List show, standard time, 8 PM UK. We'll be live for like 80-90 minutes looking over the communities, I was going to say, all the different Army Lists submitted to the channel in the last couple of weeks. So that'll be tomorrow night, 8 PM. I always do black undercoat before Retributor Armor. Yeah, I don't know where I heard that, but that's exactly what I do as well. LJ, someone must have told me when I first got Sanguinary Guard, they were like, you should undercoat the Retributor Armor Gold spray with black. And I mean, it makes sense because I always undercoat any model I spray red with white, because it just makes that red a little bit more vibrant. It's probably why all my models look really, really bright, because I undercoat them all in white. And yeah, so someone told me to undercoat the... So that guy was 100% undercoated in black. It was from the GW store manager. He maybe just wanted to sell you an extra tin of paint. I'm just messing. I think the black does help. I think it just gives the gold a bit more depth, maybe. Jay Cotton undercoats red for his gold. Oh, interesting. I've never heard of anyone do red. I do know some people that do white below the gold. I hadn't heard of red below the gold before. The metallics pop more with a black undercoat. Yeah, so there's so many hidden things that we all know as experts, and new people coming in. Where are they supposed to learn this? You know. I mean, I guess occasionally, like you said, someone at the GW store might help them out, but if they don't ask the right questions, they maybe don't get the right answers. So that's why I was saying earlier in the stream, if you're a new player or you've got any random ass questions, you should just ask them, because most of us, I guess, learned. Medicore Hobbies always goes with red under gold. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually subscribed to him. I watched this video on the new Kill Team box. Because the new Kill Team box actually looked kind of interesting. I just don't have time to play Kill Team, but I did like the fact that like the new Space Marine Kill Team is kind of like all those limited edition models that they released in Japan, whatever they call them, the blind blister type ones. I forget what they're called. I bought some of them, but I can't remember what they're called. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, though. Apparently a lot of people do brown under gold. Okay. Or you could do zenithal highlights and dry brush the gold on. Yeah, see, Space Marine Heroes, thank you. That's the blind boxes, yeah. What do you think about Ball Predators and Redeemers? With the new rule coming out where you can still overwatch while doing an action. Redeemers to me are super expensive. And they're vulnerable into some armies. So I'm just not sure I'm a huge fan of Redeemers, I must admit. I mean, I was fielding one when there were 260 points. But 285 points, I'm like, oh. And then, I mean, Ball Predators are okay. I have two. I actually converted one of them recently because mine had autocannons on the top of them, and what the fuck is an autocannon good for these days? Nothing, it feels like. So I ripped it all apart. It was one of the old metal ones. I actually ripped off the old autocannon and reconverted it and put on the Flamestorm cannon. But I guess the way that I play Blood Angels, I don't really need Flamestorm cannons in my list. I usually need something that kills tanks as opposed to kills infantry, because I feel like I have a lot of units that can kill infantry. So, I mean, I like them. I like Ball Predators, I do. They're just probably not for me. But I mean, overwatching and not losing your action is decent, don't get me wrong. Just, I usually end up doing actions on cheap shit. Like, I usually have jump intercessors or scouts or something that is cheap doing an action. Or an impulsor. Like, quite a lot of people are doing multiple impulsors. Impulsors are very meta for Blood Angels. So impulsors are good for actions. So yeah, maybe the Ball Predator, maybe the meta way to play the Ball Predator is have it as an action machine. Just, I guess I don't really run that myself. I don't know how else to say it, but yeah, I'm kind of off Redeemers just because they're expensive as hell, and then some armies are just really good at killing them. And the amount of times I've lost a Redeemer in turn 1 is ridiculous. You know, because the Redeemer kind of wants to just run up the middle of the board, doesn't it? Like, because it's only got 12-inch range. So turn 1, it just feels like you kind of just have to advance that Redeemer down towards the middle of the board. And then 9 times out of 10, it feels like your opponent just blows it up in turn 1. Like, maybe, like, in one of the games I felt really weird, I actually reserved the Redeemer. And the Redeemer came in from reserve, and it did a crap load of flaming, and it was actually really good. But it feels weird to reserve a 285 point, or whatever it was. I think I was playing it when it was slightly cheaper, so it just felt weird to reserve a 260 point tank or something with all the guys inside it. But maybe that's what you should be doing, and like sometimes you have to learn and do that a few times before you realize, oh yeah, the best way to play Redeemers is actually to put them in reserve, and maybe not everybody's doing that. Do you have any interest in an app made to help stream Warhammer games? I mean, yeah, I do stream games, like basically almost every week. I usually use the Tabletop Battles app for the scoring. I think it's just an app on the App Store, right? But yeah, so like, and playing a Redeemer, I think is just it's not like a trap, but I guess it's a tricky thing to know how to play right, because it's like, so you're gonna pay all this points for a tank that's really good at flaming infantry, that needs to get within 12 inches of the infantry, but you can't just move it up turn 1. Like, if you just move it up to the center of the board turn 1, 9 times out of 10 it just dies, and then you're like, why the fuck am I paying 285 points for this tank that just dies every time I play it? So like, you have to learn from that, I guess. And I mean, I feel like I played the Redeemer a bunch of times and tried to learn from that, but it never really clicked for me. And then right after I drop the Redeemer, I go ahead and win a grand tournament, you know? So for me, I guess it made sense to not play the Redeemer because I did better without it. There's also a huge point, like we know it's a bullet magnet, right? Like, the Redeemer is a bullet magnet. People are going to want to get rid of it because it can do so much damage or whatever. So it's a bullet magnet. So again, you need to know that. You need to play smartly around it. And I guess for me, I just never quite managed to put those things into sync correctly. I mean, you can almost get any unit into sync if you play it enough times, and you can get value from every unit if you play it enough times and you practice with it. And you can take units that no one's taking, and you can take them to tournaments, and you can win tournaments with them. With, you know, like, I don't actually know if any other Blood Angels player has won tournament using Outriders. Like, is that a thing? Like, maybe there's another list that's won a tournament with Outriders, but I feel like no one was running Outriders. And I was like, do you know what? I've tried these Outriders in a few battles. I kind of like them. They kind of fit with what I'm trying to do, so I'm just going to run Outriders. And there is something to be said about just picking what you like and persevering with it as well. I'm making something that can run on a tablet that helps track the game, but also everything can be used as OBS sources, so you could use overlays. So like, you'd have like a green screen in it, United Wargame? Blood Angels feel better taking... I suppose that's my other problem, is Impulsors are just really, really strong for Blood Angels. So yeah, taking Impulsors is like... Like, I really like running Impulsors. I think they're super strong. The units that go inside them are super strong. So it's hard to ignore that. You know, like, I mean, you can ignore that, but like, to completely ignore that is actually quite a hard thing to do, because it's like, okay, yeah, Impulsors are really strong for Blood Angels, so let me just not, you know, like, I only have one Impulsor on my list right now, but honestly, if I could figure out a nice way of getting the second or third in, I would add another Impulsor, because I do think they're really, really good. I do think that units inside them that you can do, like the Blade Guard with Fight First, or the Assault Intercessors with the Ragey Captain, I think both those combos are crazy good, right? Alright guys, I'm going to have to take off here in a second. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Thanks for hanging out. Please leave a like on the stream if you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow night for the Army show. We're live every Sunday from about back of 8 for somewhere in the region of like 90 minutes to talk about Blood Angels army lists. So hopefully I'll catch some of you guys tomorrow night. I hope you all have a wicked evening. Hope to see some of you tomorrow. Sorry Volker, 6 Impulsors and 6 5-man assault squads. I actually think there could be a play for 6 Impulsors. We haven't... You know, 6 Impulsors is not even that many points. I think there is a list that takes 6 Impulsors. I'm not entirely sure what you put inside all 6, like 2 with Blade Guard, 2 with Company Heroes, 2 with Assault Intercessors. I do think it would be really strong. It would be interesting to see somebody... The thing is, nobody I know owns 6 Impulsors. I just got my 3rd one. But I haven't built any list that uses more than 2 yet. We did get... I think we did get 1 last week. But yeah, I also don't know anyone that probably has enough units. I think we did see an Impulsor that had 2 Impulsors and 2 squads of Blade Guard. I mean, we don't see that very often, but I think we did see it last week. So yeah, join me tomorrow night, 8:30 UK time for community submitted army lists. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys then. And hopefully this week our Wednesday night game won't be cancelled. Sorry about that. Can't be helped when someone gets the disease of Nurgle. So, time for repulsors all round? No. What do people do if they can't fit? If they can't update their army to be good? Do they quit till next edition? Or they go for another army, right? I mean, there's definitely been times I've been playing, and because I only play Blood Angels, I've perceived Blood Angels as not that strong. At that point, I just try and have fun. I try and make janky lists that nobody knows how to talk about, to play against, and try and just have fun. Because it does happen, occasionally your army gets a bad update, you're not very competitive. I would say just try and have fun with it. I get so much work to do on these 2 guys, but we are sort of battle ready. I mean, I guess I need to do this guy's base next, and then they're battle ready. But there's so much work still to do. Have a good evening, guys. Yeah, I think Colin picked up an illness at his tournament. So he won the tournament, but he got he got infected with the disease of Nurgle. Shit happens. All right, enjoy your evening, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Thanks for watching. Leave a like or subscribe if you've not done that.
I have awoken.